Hey timers, Scott here with Stock Timing Tech. It's Sunday, November 1st, 2020, and in this weekly recap video, we're going to go through the news of the past week, how the charts are looking in relation to that news. We'll be looking at buy and sell signals and more. We're also going to take a look at all the reasons why the Stock Timing Tech signals give you the best opportunity to be on the correct side of the trade. It's very difficult to trade on news. Today, we're going to show you the discrepancies when great earnings and news are reported, but then the stock has subsequent drops in prices. On the contrary, some stocks posted negative news and then hit unexpected increases in stock prices. It doesn't really make much sense, does it? But that's exactly why you need Stock Timing Tech to help you cut through the clutter and noise out there and see with your own eyes what the market and price action is telling you. The Stock Timing Tech system will just cut out that noise just like a filter. All right, let's jump into it. Our Stock Timing Tech system issued sell signals on Monday in all of the major markets. We put out this tweet suggesting to close your positions, get on the sidelines into cash until we saw confirmation that the market was ready to turn. Hopefully, you followed that advice because the markets took quite a beating after we put that out. So the week began with the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 28,363.66. By the end of the week, it was down over 1,862 points. The S&P down 183 points. The NASDAQ Composite was down 594 points, and the New York Stock Exchange Composite was down over 760 points on the week. We also had several of the big hitters report Q3 earnings. Let's first go through the top 10, and then we'll look separately and take a look at the charts to determine if we have buy or sell signals on each of these stocks. Amazon reported record quarterly sales, breaking records in 2020 due to the pandemic and all of that at-home buying. Apple reported record September quarterly revenue to wrap up its fiscal year, however, declined to forecast moving forward due to COVID uncertainty. Facebook top forecast for third quarter for a profit in revenue despite a month-long ad boycott, and Google reported a return to rising ad sales. Twitter shares dropped more than 21% after its active daily user gains fell short of analyst expectations, and Netflix reported it would increase prices in the US following a surge in new subscriptions the first few months of the COVID-19 pandemic. Starbucks topped expectations for earnings but lost more than $1 billion in sales due to COVID, also for slimmer profits in the next quarter. Chevron reported a net loss in the third quarter but delivered adjusted earnings that beat expectations. And Exxon reported a loss and said revenue fell nearly 30% due to COVID. Under Armour delivered earnings that beat expectations. But here's the thing, the news is the one thing, but if you can see the chart and then follow our signals, it can better help you determine which side of the market to be on. So let's go to charts and check it out. Hey timers, all right, let's take a look at, let's go to the charts here. First, let's go through some of the indexes and see what we got. This is the Dow, and you can see here how the sell signal was issued. Complete downturn, obviously, in the markets, and so we're definitely staying short, any Dow stocks, or we're staying in cash if you only go long the markets, and we're going to wait for this to turn around. All right, let's take a look at, let's go into the New York, let's see here. Let me blow this up a little bit more. Okay, let's look at the composite index here. Okay, so we've got here this is the NYSE composite, and you can see we've got another sell signal here that was issued again across all the markets, and then we continued down and we broke kind of this. If you kind of look at this trend line right here, we kind of broke through that. We also have we're making lower highs here. If we were to draw that through. So again, I would be staying short here. We could see this connect from here to here, and then we could see an upturn, but it almost looks like there's some consolidation taking place. My guess is until after the elections, and then we can see the market can be, we can determine a little bit further the direction of the market. All right, let's change this to the NASDAQ, and let's kind of blow this up a little bit. Same thing here. We had this uptrend. We saw another buy signal. We could not, and if you notice here, we didn't surpass this high here, okay? And the market started to fall off from there, okay? So we had a key reversal here, and then we continued on with that at the beginning of the week. You can see we opened the week lower, and it issued our sell signal here, and we were able to get out of that. Okay, so again, we've got shorts, you know, in all of the markets. Let's go to the S&P, and let's take a look at that. Okay, the S&P, same thing. Issued a sell signal. All the markets are looking kind of identical here. Okay, if we were to draw this here, you can see it wasn't able to surpass this high, and the markets sold off as a result of that. Okay, so we got sell signals here in all the markets. Let's go to some of those individual stocks. So Amazon reported record quarterly sales, breaking the records in 2020 due to the pandemic and all the at-home buying. But let's take a look at Amazon, and let's see. Let's take a look at the stock here. Okay. So Amazon, if you see this here, so we had this kind of peak, fell back down, then we had here, it's almost like the Head and Shoulders, right? If we were to draw that Head and Shoulders, and we could not surpass where we were at here before, and the market sold off. Now we may see some consolidation taking place. We can kind of see this triangle pattern forming here. So we may see some consolidation or choppiness, and then my guess is we would continue to the upside from here. Okay, so generally speaking, when you see this consolidation happening within this this triangle formation, it generally continues to the upside. Now periodically it does, it'll break through that, but generally speaking, you'll kind of see consolidation, and then it will continue the trend in that direction. But for now, we're not buyers of Amazon. We're waiting for that signal to change. Okay, so let's look at Apple. Okay, again, blow this up. And in Apple, okay, we had some just terrific signals here in Apple. Okay, we had a buy signal here, we sold off. Had another buy signal here, sold, another buy signal. So we've had some tremendous profits here with Apple in these signals. I would not ignore them. We had a sell signal here, another buy, where we got confirmation and it sold right off again. Okay, so we could either see this be the trend line that maybe is breaking through to the downside. Okay, because this high here was not able to surpass this high. But we're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see what happens. Apple, when they came out there, I know their iPhone sales were down significantly, but they reported record September quarterly revenue to wrap up their fiscal year. However, they're not going to report kind of forecasts moving forward due to the COVID uncertainty. So I think that gave, that was a little unsettling to the markets. But they do have, the new iPhones coming out. They've got another new event. But again, you can't just rely on what you think is going to happen. We have to trade based on the signals of what we're seeing here. So we're still negative and short on Apple. We're sitting on the sidelines there. All right, let's take a look at Facebook. Okay, let's go to Facebook and check out Facebook. Okay, so Facebook. If you can see, we had a buy signal here, ran this up, great profits, okay, had a little bit of choppiness and then had some more terrific profits here. And now we've got a key reversal here in Facebook. Again, this high here, well, let's go back here. This high could not surpass this high, which couldn't surpass this high. Okay, so you kind of see this, negative pattern here that's developing, but we're going to see this could be consolidation that's taking place here, where we may see some bouncing taking effect.
kind of the same type of thing that we were seeing there before. We were looking at that in Amazon. But we're going to see a little bit of choppiness in through here, and then my guess is we're going to continue to the upside with Facebook. Okay, let's go to Twitter. Okay, so Twitter, when the news came out with Twitter, it wasn't, it wasn't super positive. Let me go back to Twitter. As you can see, the shares dropped more than 21% after the daily active user gains fell short of the analyst expectations. And so we saw this massive sell-off. However, if you notice here, we still have a buy signal for the trend. Okay, so we could see this pick up. It might pick up, and we might see a reversal and continue on here. But we're certainly not going to go against what our signals are. Even though we had some sell-off here, totally understand that. But we do have, we've got to follow, our system and what the system is telling us. My guess is we could potentially have it come down to this support level here. It's going to find support here. Or we could see some, this consolidation, this little bit of choppiness here until after the election. All right, let's go to Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. Okay, Netflix. Okay, same thing here. We've got this consolidation that's taking place on Netflix. They, had that increase in subscriptions, due to COVID, of course. But now we're like in this massive consolidation period here. Okay, so I would wait for it to break out, above these highs. Stay away from this choppiness, this consolidation that's happening here. My guess is it's going to continue this choppiness for a little bit until it then continues, to the upside. Okay, let's look at Starbucks. Starbucks obviously was, they were down $1 billion in revenue. That's pretty significant. But here's the thing. Look at this. So they're down $1 billion in revenue due to COVID. Okay, and they're calling for slimmer profits. It's sold off, but it didn't sell off by a lot. It's so interesting when you look. So you can't just trade on news. You can kind of see this. This trend here, whether this is going to be the bottom, it could continue down here. We're going to have to see. But it is still in this uptrend, right? We've got kind of this W pattern formation taking place. But if you notice, it's not surpassing these highs. Okay, so these highs so far have not gone above where these are at. So I think that we're waiting to see, after the election. And let's get some continued direction. But if you're currently in Starbucks, I would stay in there until we see that sell signal. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some of these oil stocks, obviously, but because they reported their quarterly earnings, we're going to talk about them. It's not like we're trading them, but let's take a look at them. Okay. Chevron. Obviously, the oil stocks are getting a huge beating. We had a huge sell signal here. We've continued on. So, we're not covering our shorts here. If you're short on Chevron, I would stay there. We could see it go down and test these, the COVID lows here. So let's just see what happens. But it's not looking good with the drop in oil prices, for Chevron. All right, let's also take a look at Under Armour. Okay, so Under Armour is starting to pick up. Let's see what they delivered earnings that beat expectations, which is great news. Okay, and you're starting to see, look at this, they're coming off of these bottoms. And if you notice here, every time we've had a pullback, it hasn't been as low as the previous one. So Under Armour's looking good. Okay, we're coming into the holiday season as well. We had a down, it pulled back. But again, so they delivered earnings that beat expectations, yet we were still down on the week, right? So again, you've got to follow something other than the news. Okay, so it kind of broke. If you look at this, this area of resistance here, right, kind of broke through that area of resistance, and now we're continuing the upside. So Under Armour's looking good. I wouldn't doubt that it gets back up around these areas here. Okay, so we take a look at, we'll probably hit, if we were to take a look here, we'll probably hit some resistance around this $15 mark, but we've still got some room to move here. If it breaks through there, I would see it going up to this $20. So Under Armour is looking good. So again, these charts can tell a lot. They can tell the picture. The way that we've set up these signals, it removes the doubt in your mind. It gives you that another filter to take a look at. Look at when Under Armour sold off. Here's where Under Armour sold off, and we never got a covering signal until here. Okay, so we got the signal here, which was around about $20 a share. We got the sell signal, and then we got the buy signal here around about $10 a share. So again, a $10 profit on the short side. So we had a little bit of choppiness and consolidation, but that's okay. And now we're continuing with this nice 45-degree angle here with Under Armour. So all good news. All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much. We'll be back here next week. We'll take a look at some more charts. We'll see some other stocks in the news, and everybody have a great week trading. Take care, and thanks for tuning in to Stock Time Tech.